Hello, my comic collecting chums, and welcome to another Sidebar. First order of business this week is to say a big thank you to everyone who said a big thank you for me saying a big thank you to them last week. Let's just leave that there, shall we? Don't think I missed anyone, but if I did, thank you. Now, here's the thing. Something is killing the finances. I don't sort of buy a lot of comic books regularly. I don't buy new stuff, so it tends to be things I pick up in dribs and drabs or a big bulk of stuff. I've got a tendency to buy more from the States for two reasons. One is availability and options. There are some things that are harder to get over here. Sometimes it's more about the fact that I collect cents price comics. So, for example, something that was popular in a Bronze Age title, options online in the UK, most of the options might be pence copies. Whereas in the US, obviously, that's different. The second thing is price. Some of the bigger books, some of the harder to get books, cost a lot more here. People can sort of ask more for them. Now, some of my UK collector chums that I met might be watching this, maybe tell me I might be looking in the wrong places. That's fine. So what I'll tend to do, particularly with eBay, obviously, I've got a list of sellers that I've used before and trust and know where to go, or some stores I can go to directly, although the shipping can tend to be a bit more expensive. But what I will typically look to do is if there is, so for example, the other week, a seller that I have used before and like very much listed a bunch of new stuff, and there was a big book in there. I say big, so to me, if I'm spending more than £50, more than about $60 or so on a book. That's not an insignificant outlay for a book for me. So I don't have a lot of big, expensive things in my collection. Lots of very cool things, but not too expensive. So that for me kind of takes some thought. And you've got to kind of factor in the shipping. So I spotted that this seller had a book that I really kind of liked, and I knew that it's going to be somewhere around $100 possibly. In an auction to get hold of. So what I then do is look at what else the seller has and try and pick out things that I'm genuinely interested in having, not just filling up the basket with anything, but things that either sort of fit into my collection or I've got a real interest in. Another option as well is trying to pick something up that I know is popular enough to resell here. It's not to bring it over and sell it for a big profit. It's basically, if I can resell this at a competitive price, lower than anyone else is selling it in the UK, it will help recoup some of the shipping costs that I've paid. And that's worked out quite well previously. Someone's really delighted with getting a good quality book at a good price. I've got some of my shipping covered. All good. So on this occasion, this chap had a book that I really wanted. So I thought I'll have a look and see what else he's got. And then what I'll typically do is add everything I'm interested in to my watch list. And as many of you probably do, you do that and you wait for offers. With this guy, this is a mix of auction stuff and buy it now stuff and all of that. So the main item, I bid on that, won the auction, fortunately. It's kind of finishing at an odd time, I think, both for the States and the UK. So I think I sort of lucked out with that. Might have overpaid for it a bit compared to what you would pay in the States or Canada or somewhere like that. But very pleased with what I got it for in relation to what I would have paid here. So the other stuff I picked up with that to make that package worthwhile. Once I was done, he did what he did last time. Looked at what I had on my watch list, and rather than the sort of automatically generated 10% off or something, sent me offers for like 50% off a bunch of the stuff I wanted. Now they're cheaper items, but overall that kind of makes a difference. So what I got, Shogun Warriors 1. Obviously not expensive. This was out round about the time I got into US Marvel Comics. It's not one I had back in the day, so I picked that up for fun. And like all of his books, really nice condition. My sense is that he picked this stuff up when it came out. If he read it at all, he read it, put it away, and I don't think it's moved since, because the last lot of stuff I had off him was amazing, the condition of the books. And that's proved to be the same again. 2001 A Space Odyssey, issue 1. It's one I've been interested to see for a long time, even though the film makes my eyes bleed. But glad to have the comic book, Kirby Goodness. Supernatural Thrillers, issue 8. No other reason than it was cheap and it looks cool, and I don't have any of these. So I'm looking forward to having a look at that. This has been on my list for a while. They're not hard to get, pretty much 10 a penny. I could easily have picked one up when I was in the States, I'm sure, but somehow didn't. So delighted to get that. That was, again, you just knocked a big chunk off that, so it was very cheap. Also looking for a Blade Runner movie adaptation. I think there was issues 1 and 2 of that, so if you have any. I also picked up, where are we? Spirit, issue 1 and 2. Both in awesome condition. Not really into underground stuff or adulty stuff, but Will Eisner's a legend, so I kind of wanted to have something of Will Eisner's. And I've heard about this book so much, I wanted to have a look at it. So perfect opportunity to do that with a big juicy discount on those. And he also, bless him, threw in some free stuff because he's nice like that. So he threw in Death of Doctor Strange, number 1. I've big fan of Doctor Strange. I've got Doctor Strange Volume 1 and Volume 2 complete. I had quite a bit of Volume 3. It came out in the 80s, The Sorcerer Supreme, but didn't keep it because I wasn't that into it. And I haven't read any modern stuff. Death of Doctor Strange? Death? Is he dead? They killed him? What's that about? I've seen pictures of a sort of woman with the cape of levitation and stuff, but is he dead? He's dead. Don't tell me. Nail in the coffin. More Death of Doctor Strange. Bloodstone. No idea. What's that about? I don't know. I'll have a look. You tell me. And very nice, the guy, to put this stuff in, you know. And the third one he put in, I do know about, because I remember that from back in the day. I think I had it at one point, because I had to think all of X Factor up to a certain point. Issue 71, which is signed by, looks like it's a Strom. Is it Stroman? Is it? Stroman, the artist? Look at my face. Look at my face. Do I look interested? I'm not interested. Really, X Factor. So, I don't know. Does anybody want that? Was it worth like £1? Do you want to trade something? A tea towel or something? Do you want to do a trade? Yeah, trade something. Probably people in the UK. It wouldn't be worth it in the US, would it? Just for a bit of fun, bit of trade. Let's do it. The big item I got from him, boom, Avengers 7. It's got a grease pencil mark there with a 20, and up on the letter R here, there's, I don't know if that's an M or a seagull. It's been penciled on there. Is it a seagull pedigree? Is it George Seagull? Let's just get past that, will we? This is in beautiful condition. It's got some wear down the side, but really not. What can we show there? Yeah, you can see the wear, but you know, it's all intact and everything. And gosh, the inside looks amazing. So by far the earliest number of Avengers I've got. I don't have a big thing to try and get a whole run of Avengers or anything like that. I'm interested in the issues kind of between about 150 and 250 maybe, because a lot of that is from round about when I was reading it when I was a youngster, which is cool. But yes, delighted to have that. That was awesome. However, the very next day, good friend, guest on episode 1, Carl, and serial influencer, Carl, tipped me the wink that he was having another Whatnot show that Saturday or the Saturday after. Not only that, but his guest was going to be Jeff from Comic Spa, who I've talked about before. Lunch Money Comics have got a video where Mike is helping Jeff sort out his Avengers collection to sell. I was drooling over it. I like books with special associations. They belong to people I like or people I know or people of interest and what have you. Massive respect for Jeff's skill, professionalism, and the way he kind of conducts himself when he's like on videos and talking about things. Just an awesome guy. I've only chatted with him a couple of times. I haven't actually met him, but yeah, I was always kind of like, oh, if I ever got the chance to get one of his books, that would be amazing. So Carl says, yeah, Jeff's bringing some of his books. Oh, so of course I was there in position. Carl, helpfully, if you're familiar with Whatnot, some sellers use the shop facility, so before the auction, you can see everything that's going to be auctioned, and you might even have an option to buy it now or make an offer on a book. So I thought, right, had a look. I thought there's loads of good stuff in there that I can bid on to fill out the shipping, to spread the shipping cost. There's 3 or 4 Avengers books that were slabbed, and I thought, well, they'll be GS probably. Couple under $100. One that was a lot more. So I thought, right, cunning plan. I'll get in early before it starts. I'll buy one of the cheaper ones, and then I'm done. And all I need to do then is pick up some of the cheaper books, just stuff of interest, like I have done with Carl before, to fill out the free shipping that I've got up to a certain point. So I did. I got in early, and you can ignore the price labels on these. They are quite old. This was put at what I thought was a reasonable price, certainly for what I would have paid in the UK. So Avengers 47, Magneto Walks the Earth. A fabulous cover. I paid the asking price without hesitation. It's actually a better angle, isn't it? It's very clean on the back. It's a 6.0. First appearance of Dane Whitman. He becomes the Black Knight in the next issue. Yada, yada, yada. So, very, very chuffed with that. I thought, right, that's done. That's in the bag. Got one of Jeff's Avengers. I can relax and pick up good, fun reading stuff, anything that might fill in bits in the collection. So what did I get? I got Swamp Thing 42. I got Swamp Thing 45. I got Swamp Thing 63. The only 2 issues I've ever had and read of Swamp Thing I got from Carl's last Whatnot show. Even though they were 20 issues apart, they both appeared to involve a woman declaring her love for Swamp Thing and them trying to work out how to. And then doing that in a spectacular psychedelic fashion. You had to hold the book sideways to read it. So it felt wrong. It's basically a woman boffing a salad. It's weird. And then in the second issue, which was 30 issues later, he's been away to space for ages with Adam Strange or someone. Comes back. They haven't seen each other for ages. So, and I was like, is every issue of the Swamp Thing like this? Now I've got 3 more. I'll be able to find out. So I also got Moon Knight 10. I haven't got any Moon Knight. I think back in the day I had the first issue. Again, being a pence copy, I didn't keep it, so I picked up a couple of those. Obviously, Carl got me really interested in Moon Knight again when we did our episode of People with Issues. Iron Man 140 and 141. Sort of mid-grade these, I think. Dead cheap. Carl's always really careful to show everybody the condition of the comics and go over everything in detail, so you know what you're getting. I got the pair of these for $3. And as my good friend Raf would say, $3, sure, why not? I picked up some X-Men. The only copy of the X-Men I have in my collection is 150. If I got X-Men again, I'd only really be interested in issues sort of 120 to 150 because it's what I had when I was younger, and I like those ones. So the first one was really cheap. X-Men Annual 5. More interesting. X-Men number 126. That's a nice copy. In Search of Mutant X. Uh, X-Men 144, which is a nice copy. And definitely paid more for this one because it's one of my favourite covers of all time. X-Men 145. Who is it? It's Dave Cockrum that did that, was it? I should have looked before I did this, really, but I didn't, so forgive me. You tell me. Yeah, absolutely outstanding. So yeah, paid a bit more for that one, but certainly less than I would have paid in the UK. It's a really nice copy. I'm really, really chuffed to have that. I do the cover love thing on the People with Issues episodes. So the pure cover that makes you happy. You just look at it. I mean, it's not happy, but I love it. It's awesome. So then my shipping thing said, right, you've had your free shipping, pal. That's you filled up. And the next thing that came up, more Swamp Thing or something, which I would have bought more. He had loads more great comics starting at $3 as well. And it was a well attended auction, but at that stage I wasn't sure. I was kind of like, well, how much more am I going to get? There isn't anything big for me to get now, so I should just kind of sit back. There's no point me buying a $3 book and paying $25 shipping, right? However, they sort of went through a lot of the other stuff, got towards the end, and started talking about these other remaining Avengers books. So I thought, well, I'll sit back, have some snacks, watch them put them up, see what people get them for. So the first one they put up was Avengers 157 in a 9.4 with a Kirby cover. A newsstand for people that are interested in that sort of thing. And it had this, again, probably a reasonable price on it. I'm not really sure. But they just started at half price. And I bid on it, and nobody else did. And I won it. So I was like, okay, now I've got two of Jeff's comics. And that's okay, because I thought, right, they arrive. I can have a look at them. I can maybe decide maybe one of those is the thing that I can resell and recoup some shipping, get something back in the coffers for. Because do I need to have two? Do I need to have two books? Then they got to the big book, and the big book. So the price they had the big book at, as I understand from looking at it later on and talking to Adam up in Adam Comics about it, looked at it and said, yeah, it's a pretty good price, probably below fair market value or something like that. Not entirely sure. And I thought, it doesn't matter. It's above my pay grade. I'm not going there. I've got my books. All good. So they were talking about it, and Carl was like, do you want to put it up? And Jeff was like, you can put it up. Should we put it up? Jeff said, what would someone offer me for it? And it was quiet. Well, it would be quiet because you can't talk and whatnot, but no one was typing anything. And before I knew it, my fingers were reaching for the keyboard and typing a price. The price I typed was about 23-24% lower than the asking price. And I'd fully expected Jeff to go, get out of here. Get out of here, you Scottish whelp. Do one. Do a runner. Get lost. Maybe stronger language. But he didn't. He said, yeah, I'd take that. So, long story short, they started the auction. No one else bid on it. I got it. I'm not going to sort of say the exact price out of respect for Jeff, because there's no need. But I've told you it was listed at a reasonable price, and it got well before that. And this isn't a sort of this isn't a yo, look what I scored for this awesome price and kind of thing. It's more opportunities like this don't come up for me very often. This is a big book for me. Like I said, I haven't got like high end expensive stuff in my collection. This will be like the second or third most valuable book, probably, in terms of monetary terms. But it's absolutely it's in fantastic condition. The only thing wrong with this, I'm just really sorry. I'm trying to get used to which way I'm turning the camera. Albert Dorse, there's like a mark been drawn sort of over his face there. Other than that, the book looks awesome. And I've talked about special associations, things with books in my collection, who they come from, the time, the place, all that good stuff. And exchanged a couple of messages with Jeff after the stuff arrived. Said just how delighted I am to have them. And he said, it's crazy to think you're only the second owner of those books. I had no idea. So he's pretty much picked them up when they've come out, had them ever since, and now I've got them. And the funny thing is, all of Carl's Whatnot stuff, which again only took 4 days to get from the US to Scotland. Last week I posted my mate's birthday card, which went from, it's a 2.5 hour drive. It took 5 days. But big box of comics got from the US to Scotland in 4 days. And the stuff from the eBay seller from the week before all arrived on the same day. So Avenger 6, Avenger 7. There we go. So yeah, it's quite a lot. Won't be many videos like this from me, let me tell you. There'll be more ruminating about what I do about the slabs and stuff like that. So yes, thoughts, comments, UK collectors kind of tell me, if there's better options in the UK than I know about. Tell me what you think about the Avengers comics and the other stuff, things I'm not familiar with. If you want to do a trade for that X Factor, shout me up. Otherwise, it's going in a box for the charity shop. I'm not even going to read that one. But thanks so much for tuning in, as always. And until next time, stay groovy.